In life, when we don't know how to do a thing, it makes the journey very herculean and very difficult. The same thing with pushing our product into the marketplace. We've done the analysis. We realize that for effective distribution, a single person may not be able to serve more than 50 to 100 people effectively. We are talking about being effective is distribution. We all need platform. But at this point, I also want to push in another concept, which is a distribution model that most organizations and manufacturing firms are making use of. It's a layered process, starting with the producer, the manufacturer, the service provider, moving next to the distributors. The distributors are directly linked to the manufacturer to get the goods in bulk. If it were to be manufacturing, many of them have their haulage industry, their buses, their trailers. They move the goods from the manufacturer to the wholesalers. By so doing, it reduces the stress on the producer, and at the same time, sometimes it provides fund to help in channeling the goods downward. In your business, it's very good you have distributors as the next layer, except wherein your business is not very large. But no matter how small it is, you must try and work with the wholesalers if you cannot get hold of a distributor. But in most circumstances, the distributor service the wholesalers. The wholesalers are individuals with large shop, mall, supermarket in town, and they are also found in the big markets. What the distributor do is they take these goods to the wholesalers. The wholesalers, on the other hand, gets it to the retailers. And most of the times, the wholesalers don't leave a spot because the goods around them are large. The retailer come to them to buy. The retailer now takes it to the nooks and cranny of the towns and villages across the cities and towns and villages. Sorry. So when they get it there, they sell to the consumers. Now let's look at it this way. If you are the producer of a goods, if you are selling directly to the consumers, check your network. Your network is very small. But when you give it to the distributors, each of them have an area or jurisdiction. They take it to their jurisdiction. Another one may serve another state and the other one to another state. Within that state, there are more than 5 wholesalers. These 5 wholesalers, each of them represent 10 to 20 or 100 retailers. By so doing, you get your product very far. You might have to give way with some commission, but at the end of the day, by virtue of the volumes of sales, you become very wealthy. We have some very large manufacturing in town. On a goods of 50 naira, all they make is 3 naira. But multiply 3 naira in million places. It is better to make 3 naira in million places than make 10 naira in 10,000 places. So the leveraging also leads to releasing some of their possible income. The distributor takes a part, the wholesaler takes a part, the retailer takes a part for the final consumer. So look at your product. How much can I give out to bring in more sellers? What you want to do now is you want to recruit more sales force so that it won't be only you. So those people that will have direct contact with you will buy in bulk. You now sell to the next phase and the next phase. I want to give a story because sometimes we look at it as a concept for very large manufacturing firms. My wife has a friend. When she started her business, all she has in mind was to sell to the neighborhood. Then my wife told her, go to the biggest markets in the city. She told her the specific area. When she got there, she was so happy. She ran back home that they were asking for the goods. Ever since the past 8 years, she has been in the business. She has many workers because of a single button of recognition, knowing what to do. She's selling in the bigger market. If she was to be selling in the neighborhood, she would have been frustrated. She would have left, put off the business. But today, she's still in the business. In her own case, she doesn't have a distributor in the sequence. She has wholesalers who gets it to the retailers. In this spectrum, just pick the one that suits you. But there should be layers of flow in your distribution wherein you sell in bulk. Until you begin to sell in bulk, I'm talking about certain items, you may not go very far. And the issue of distribution should start with the business from the day one. It's not something you implement later. The only thing is that you may have to buttress and expand it. Now, I want to apply this to service-oriented business, to NGO, to humanitarian services or religious body. The same similar organogram goes for them. You have coordinators, sub-coordinators. In some cases, you have regional leaders, sub-regional leaders, state leaders, local government leaders. One thing you must always do is you are creating layers, about 3 to 4 layers. By so doing, you cannot be in every place. You can only stay in a location. The difference between the small business and the big business is the distribution network. Today, I want you to begin to think on this. To multiply your sales in tens, in hundreds, in thousands, you must have a distribution network that helps to sell in bulk. It helps to increase your specialization in the area of producing so that the sales force take care of what you are pushing out. Check the large organization. You find this similar design. Pepsi-Cola, Coca-Cola, and the likes, the Lever Brothers. That is the same design they make use of. I want to add 2 other probable. It may be applicable to your business. We have the what do you call it? The franchise type business. We also have the network type business. These two also can be associated with your business. The franchise base is this: you produce the formula, the concept, then the operation is pushed to others. Example is Pepsi-Cola International. Pepsi-Cola International sells the franchise to different companies all over the world. All they do is they produce the concentrate in buckets or drums and push it to different regions of the world. Now, what do? They have reduced their stress. Instead of setting up the manufacturing uh, company chains and factories and firms, they are just about packaging the concentrate. That is a franchise type business. You may not run it exactly the same way, but it is similar. While the franchise owner takes about maybe 5 to 7% on the production without moving or lifting a finger. And those who buys the franchise, the franchisee, also are happy because these are moving brands. You may not be able to operate at that level, but you can inculcate something similar, wherein you have things, a formula, intellectual properties that you expend to the world, and they pay you to get it before they distribute it. The last one is the network system. In a network business, the cost of marketing and sales are taken out of the question. The end users are the same people moving the product based on recommendation, referral. Somebody buys a good, he uses it, he finds it very beautiful, he introduces it to his friends. By so doing, he begins to earn income based on referral fees and bonuses. And the beautiful thing about network marketing is you are not just paid for the same person, you also help your friends or the person who uses it also to be well educated, to have full information about the product and the uses. He also introduces his friend, and his friend introduces his friend. This is why many a times you don't need large money to start a network business. You may just need to buy a combo. You are in business, a distribution business, distributing the same goods downward. But if you have the money, you can start the first base, which is the production of the concept, of the content, or of the product. Let's now move on. All this brought together represent a kind of another kind of distribution system for large earning. Network marketing, franchise business, and normal distribution process that it entails distributor, wholesalers, retailers, and the consumer. So it depends on the one you want. But the common one is the last one I mentioned now. A distributor selling to a wholesaler reaching to retailer to the consumer. Do your best to always find a platform on which to launch yourself to your world. I will end this with the word of Archimedes. He said, "Give me a place to stand and give me a long lever, long enough, and I will move the world." You too, with that product, with the right distribution, you can move your world. Go and 10 times your product. Apply smartness in what you do. Hard work without smartness leads to frustration. I hope I've made your day. I am Wale Adewumi. Thank you.